Welcome to Computer Applications and Business Web Development. I'm your host, Douglas Tondrew, and we're going to start this week's lesson with Module 1. So our agenda for today, we are going to talk about popular browsers for web development that is most often used by most web developers. I'm also going to introduce you to various text editors that are available for web development. In addition to that, I am also going to show you some web development testing sites that can be utilized as you build your application and your websites and really want to test to see if there's mobile friendliness that exists, iPad or tablet friendly that exists within your sites. So, what are some of the most populars that are most often used for web development by most developers? We have a few. There's a lot of browsers out there. So I tried to limit it to some of the most popular browsers, those with the highest ranking according to W3 Schools, which is the foundation or the corporation or the nonprofit organization, I should say, that exists that actually creates the standards that the browsers need to meet in order to support what is known as popular websites and web interfaces and applications that are often built by developers on the web. So the first web browser we have is Mozilla. So Mozilla is a popular web browser that is most often used by web developers. So what's unique, I would definitely say about the uh, Firefox web browser is it has actually done a very, very incredible job at meeting most of the standards that have been set and created by um, W3 Schools. So in order to get Mozilla, all you actually have to do is you have to go to mozilla.org and you'll be able to download the latest up-to-date Firefox web browser. If you want to become a developer, I highly recommend that you use this browser because the latest update is very, very good with Mozilla. It's fast, it's lightweight, it's powerful, and it has the ability to provide what is known as private mode. And Mozilla is currently working on having a fully encrypted browser that still has the full speeds that we have grown accustomed to enjoying. The next web browser is one that is created by Google developers and Google Foundation themselves, and that is the Google Chrome. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with Google Chrome. It's also another very popular browser. So if you want to download Google Chrome, you can simply go to google.com/Chrome and you will be able to download a very, very sophisticated, secure, and fast browser from Google as well. The next popular browser that is on our list is one that is most often than not found on Apple platforms, and that browser is Safari. You can download the latest version of Safari. Safari is pretty cool. It's very compatible with a lot of Apple devices, iPhone, Apple Watches, iPads, etc., where you can actually test and see how your Apple applications will respond to any application you build for Apple devices. The next browser is one that I happen to like a lot because its main goal is to actually be fully compatible with the W3 Schools and websites that are currently built on the web. And that is the web browser known as Opera. So Opera is really built to meet all the standards of the web. That is the main goal of this web browser. So it's actually a mobile-friendly browser. You can download it for your desktop, your mobile devices, or you can simply get the app to surf the web using Opera, where most applications will run and function properly as long as they follow the standards and rules and regulations that was set by W3 Schools. Last but not least, which is growing on us a little bit, is Microsoft Edge. Microsoft has come a long way since IE, aka Internet Explorer. They've recently created the Edge, and the goal of the Edge is really to enhance the user's experience with the use of Cortana, Windows 10 mobile devices, etc. As a developer, it's very important that you have these browsers because as you build your application, you want to make sure that it's compatible and that all of these web browsers are fully supported. So the browsers I presented you today are actually browsers that are in heavy use by most developers as they build websites and applications when they are looking to test things. The next thing that we're going to look at is text editors for web development. Okay. So what are these text editors most often than not that are used for web development? Those text editors include Notepad++, Sublime, Text Wrangler, Cloud9, Brackets, and Atom. So before we go any further, what I would like to do is kind of to show you what those different text editors look like in case you happen to be interested in going with one. And by the end, I will tell you what my recommendation is as far as choosing a text editor. So here we have an example of Notepad. So if you would like to download Notepad, all you have to do is go to notepad-++.org, and you will be able to actually download the most updated Notepad++. So once you download Notepad, you will get something like this that exists where you can actually, download plugins, run your application that you build, test your website, etc. So Notepad++ is a very popular text editor that is most often used by developers. Okay, it is supported on the Windows environment, and it is used by the GPL licensing. So Notepad++ is really heavily used in most Windows environment. The next popular text editor that we have is Sublime. Sublime is another popular text editor that exists where it actually is supported on both platforms. So with Sublime, you can use it on a Mac OS X, or you can use it on any Windows operating system or a Linux operating system that you would like to utilize. You can get Sublime by going to sublimetext.com, and you will be able to actually download the Sublime text editor. Sublime Text Editor is actually pretty cool because it really gives you a lot of different functionalities that most text editors do not give you. You can use it to write JavaScript, HTML, CSS, PHP, where most text editors do that, but Sublime is a little bit more sophisticated because it's lightweight and it really allows you to build and develop with guidance from the text editor with the different colors that really allows you to see what you would like. So most developers you come across, you will notice that they will use Sublime. And Sublime and Notepad++, I will say, are two of my text editors recommendation. Okay. Then we have Text Wrangler. Text Wrangler is built by Bare Bones. Again, it is an Apple text editor or a Mac OS X text editor. It is not compatible with the latest Mac OS X version, which is High Sierra, but it is compatible with Sierra. So if you updated your Mac recently to the latest operating system, I do not recommend you go with Text Wrangler. I do recommend that you stick to Sublime. Okay, so Bare Bones is another text editor that you can utilize for a 30-day trial. It's not free, and it really does have a lot of the cool functionalities that most text editors have, but it has a lot of plugins and the ability to do a lot of cool things that we will go over as we dive deeper into the course. The next one is, I will definitely say, one of my favorite text editors, and that is Brackets. So what is so unique, I would definitely say, about Brackets, I'm sorry, Cloud9, Brackets is this one. We're not going to get into Brackets yet. Is Cloud9. What's unique about Cloud9, I would definitely say to you, is Cloud9 is actually a, how can I explain this? Cloud9 is a browser based. Cloud9 has the ability to do, for most users, I'm actually trying to find my account for Cloud9. So what Cloud9 has the ability to do, and what I would say it allows for users to do, is it really allows you to build your application or build your site via the web. So as you build your application using Cloud9, you actually have the cool functionality in Cloud9 to really save your work, update it, and really get a good sense of what it is that's happening with your work as you build it. So what does Cloud9 looks like, and how do you get access to Cloud9? So if you happen to be interested in Cloud9, all you have to do is go to amazon.com/Cloud9. So this is an example of where you would go to get Cloud9. Once you have it, you could click on Get Started with Cloud9, or you can log into your existing C9.io Cloud9 application. So here's an example of my Cloud9 application. It's right here. And one of the cool things you'll notice with my Cloud9 is it creates what is known as workspace. So let's say I wanted to build something in HTML, PHP, JavaScript, or MySQL. I would just click on create new workspace, and I will be able to choose from one of the templates that exists to explain exactly what kind of project I am looking to design. Is it an HTML5? Is it a Node.js? Is it a PHP? Am I building something in Python, the Django, Ruby, C++, WordPress, Rails blank, or Harvard CS 520? It's actually a class, so dismiss that. Okay, so I could actually choose a template and create it from any of my work. So since this is a web development class, I will say that I'm going to choose an HTML5 template, and then I will click create. I will have to name my project. So I'm going to name this testing. Okay. And select create workspace, and it will actually create my workspace in the cloud for me. So I'll actually be able to build a fully functioning website that I can collaborate and bring other users on to work with me. And all of this will be hosted via the web. I consider this to be one of the most popular cloud interface applications that exist. And it's very cost effective. What I mean by that is it costs about $1. And as we go deeper into the course, I will show you exactly how Cloud9 works. It's about $1 a month, which adds up to $12 for the year. And you get all the cool functionalities that we're going to cover. Okay. The next popular text editor that is out there that exists is one that is known as Brackets. Okay. So Brackets is another one that I will definitely say is another cloud-based text editor. You can also download it on your physical machine. It's a modern open source text editor that really understands web design. So it helps you to really lay out the foundation for what you're trying to build. It allows you to collaborate, contribute, learn from the community, and really package up your application the way that most text editors can't do it. Again, it's another cloud-based text editor that can be utilized. Last but not least, we have Atom. Okay, Atom is another, again, cloud-based text editor that is in heavy use. I don't really use it much, but I have used it before. It's really a modern approach to really making you productive. It actually completes some of the syntax for you as you write it. It also has a very powerful community where you can do real-time collaboration with your peers and friends as you build any application. Okay, so my recommendation, if you would like to know which text editor to go with, I would recommend Sublime, Notepad++ as text editors that would sit on my physical machine. If you want something that's in the cloud, I would go with Cloud9. And you can also set up a trial, and if you don't like it, you can move forward from it. Brackets and Atom are good. I just like the Cloud9 because it allows you to actually test and run everything from the cloud live. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is some popular web development testing sites. All right. That is very critical as a developer. When you start building applications, you need to test them to make sure they work and function properly. I cannot stress enough how many terrible applications and websites that exist that have not been tested properly. And really, the testing happens when the user tests out the site and things start to fall apart. So what are some of those sites that can be utilized to test them? First and foremost, we have HTML5 tests. So HTML5 tests is right here. So what HTML5 tests actually allows you to do is it will test your browser for you. And what that essentially means is it will test your browser and it will let you know if your browser actually supports the latest HTML5 standard that has been created by W3 Schools. Again, remember that nonprofit organization is really who the body of engineers who come together who decide what should be the requirements for the web. So as you can see, Chrome, which is what I'm looking at right now, scores a 528 out of 55. If I want to look at what other browsers do, I can click on other browsers and it actually will show me who the top browsers currently are. So here's the current scores for all browsers. Currently, Chrome is number 1. Okay, then you have Opera, which is number 2, which I'm sure most people don't usually use Opera. Then you have Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Safari at the end. So if you are deciding which browsers you should design or build your application around, I would definitely say you should download Chrome, Opera, and Firefox, because those three browsers are the ones leading the way as far as support for meeting the standards of the web. And this page and site is updated monthly to really test things. And if you click on mobile, you can see which browsers are leading the way for mobile development. You can see Samsung Internet and Opera Internet are leading the way, and iOS and BlackBerry are way at the bottom. Okay. The next site that I happen to love a lot as well is ScreenFly. So what ScreenFly allows you to do is it allows you to actually test your personal site. So let's say, for example, I built a site and I want to know, is my site mobile friendly or not? Or what does it look like on a particular device? It's really hard to determine and tell that without having a bunch of devices. Well, with ScreenFly, you won't need to do that. You won't run into that issue. You can actually use this website to test what your site will look like in different platforms. So here's an example of a site that I built for testing purposes, just to kind of show you. You guys can see, right, when I click home, the site looks like it functions pretty much well, right? Everything looks good. However, when I run it on ScreenFly and I click go, you notice that some of the top gets cut off. So let me switch it to a 15-inch notebook. So that's like a laptop, so to speak. Looks pretty good in a laptop. I'm noticing that I can see everything I need to on the site. Let's switch it to a Kindle Fire. Let's do an Apple iPad. Once I switch it to an Apple iPad, you notice that, again, the top is still cut off and I can't see everything. Samsung Galaxy Tab. If I continue to switch it from Microsoft Surface Pro, I could see it because that's kind of a laptop type. You notice as I switch it to the different devices, the site doesn't really look, it's mobile friendly, but it's not the best mobile friendly site that is out there. So there's a few issues with it and a few bugs that I need to fix as I go from one device to the next and try to really make it look the way that I would like for it to look. So ScreenFly allows you to test your website in different platforms: TV, phones, tablets, and desktops. Okay. So I highly recommend that once you build your site, you log into ScreenFly and you use it to test if your site is mobile friendly, iPad friendly, desktop friendly, and TV friendly. The next editor that I recommend for web development testing is what is known as the HTML Validator. Okay, it's nothing fancy, but the HTML Validator is pretty cool because it allows you to test your application that you built. So let's say I built an application in HTML5, so to speak. So I'm going to go to File Upload. I'm going to choose my file that I want to test. Let me just come here. Just some random file. And I'm just trying to find an HTML document that I built a while back. So I have assignment 2 example. It's an HTML file, .html. When I click check, it will actually run through what is known as the HTML checker to see if there is any errors. And as you can tell, the document check completed. No errors were found in my HTML validator. So if there were errors, if I didn't meet the HTML5 standards, the validator would actually tell me exactly where those errors are and what is supported versus not supported by HTML5. Last but not least, we have what is known as the CSS3 validator. CSS3 validator, again, is another very popular validator that is available for CSS. If you don't know what CSS is the cascading style sheet that we will be using later on in the course, but it's good to wrap your head around it. So I'm going to paste, again, my URL to see what my CSS looks like. And as you can tell, the website that I use ScreenFly to test has 3 errors when it comes to CSS. And here are the exact 3 errors that it's saying it found issues with. All right. It also shows me what is supported. So this is valid CSS information that the validator was able to find for me. I know I threw a lot at you, but it's very important that you decide on which text editor you would like to use for the course and which text editor you would like to download or utilize as a web developer. I also recommend you really keep track of these text editors or testing sites that will be utilized. This actually should say text editors for web development, but more important, not text editors, but testing sites that is utilized for web development. And I'll update that and fix it. So that's a little typo on my end. And most importantly, which browsers for web development you would like to use as you become a developer. So what we basically covered in today's quick lesson was popular browsers for web development, text editors for web development, and web development testing sites that should be utilized. Okay, so it's very important that we decide on those topics and see which one we would like to move forward with. Thank you for joining me. I hope you learned a lot by tuning in and listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.